Alright guys, so what up? So I decided to make another video, do a little review, talk about the Superman trailer, and also at the same time talk about older Superman films, past, present, and to come, of what my thoughts are on what I think. So first of all, let's go to the trailer. Superman, let's get to the trailer that I did a review and I did my reaction to yesterday. One thing I love biggest thing I love the music. I know a lot of people complain about the music. I don't understand why. I love the build up. I mean, that's what I like. I like the Dark Knight Rises kind of had that too. I love the build up to the point where you know it's coming. Superman is like, you're gonna get to see Superman. He's gonna take off. And I love the aspects in the beginning. I love showing Krypton. I love, and other people mention this, I love the aspect how they're doing that. Maybe Krypton's being torn apart by war, and that's interesting. Like, that's what destroyed the planet. And people say, how does war destroy the planet? But you gotta look, this is an alien race. They have machines like this. And also in the comic books, there was a weapon that drilled a crack into Krypton, which later on ended up destroying it. So that aspect could be here with that. Also things, it was cool. I like the shots of Crow as Superman's father. I love those shots. I love of him sending his son to Earth. It looks, and Kevin Costner, man, Kevin Costner, I think, is gonna give a memorable performance as being his father, and really comforting, and like having, like, he knows his son is this person, but at the same time he's also his son, and he's trying to protect him and show him that he does have this in him, and that he will become this, but he needs to see this for himself on his own. And also, let's talk about Lois Lane. That I really love. I love the voiceover with her. The way that she's saying that she's been looking, and she's seen, like, it's almost like it's turning like into like an urban legend of, like, she's heard about this guy who's done these amazing things all over the world, but she doesn't know who it is. And I like that concept that they're giving to her. She's more of an investigative reporter, unlike the Lois Lane that we got in, say, Superman Returns, who really, and didn't really do much. And then honestly, Kate Bosworth didn't really feel like a reporter, but I'll get to that. I love all the shots with Zod, with the alien invasions, and of course, and biggest thing in Superman fighting. I mean, come on, 5 movies, and now he's finally we have Superman 2, Superman, which is Donner's cut, Superman 3, which is awful, but still, Superman 3, Superman 4, which is Batman and Robin awful, and Superman Returns. Let's scratch that. We have 6 Superman movies where he didn't throw a punch or have a consecutive fight with an enemy. And I'm not going to count Superman Quest for Peace. I'm not going to count that stupid ass fight with Nuclear Man, okay? I'm not going to count that at all. That was a pathetic attempt of doing any type of thing. But, I mean, come on. We have 6 Superman movies and he doesn't do anything. I can look back at some of the older films of even like the cheesy Batman stuff, or even that awful Captain America movie, which was beyond pathetic, from like the 90s. But even though that film was awful, Captain America actually did something in that film, even though he was a kind of a moron in that film, and that film was really pathetic, but it did something. The Batman shows, they were goofy and stuff in the past, and that's fine, but they did something. We have 6 Superman movies leading up to now, which this will be a 7th, and Superman has yet to do anything that we have seen Superman do in the comics and in the cartoons, and I find that insulting and pathetic. And people act like, and now we're going to get to the older films, people act like Donner's films are the greatest thing ever. And you know what? They are good. But as I said at the end of my reaction, they are far from being perfect. They have flaws, and I think people just overlooking the flaws. One of the biggest flaws is if you look at that film in a whole. Go back, watch the Donner film. Or better yet, go back, download, or whatever you can do. Go online, try to find some old Superman cartoons of him fighting Brainiac, or him having like Darkseid, or just anything. Go back and do that, or go back and look at some of the old comics. Then go watch Donner's film and come back and you tell me with a straight face that is like the exact same thing that you've seen in the comic, because it's not. Nothing happened in that original Superman film, and it's fine because it was an Origins, and that was fine back then. I understand that wasn't early. This was before comic book movies had even been made. and I understand, and that's fine with me. But for the most part, what did Superman? Let's look at that film in the whole. What did Superman actually do in that film when he came to Earth? What heroic things did he? He picked up a chopper, which was that was it. He had that whole flying scene with Lois, which was cool at the time. It was cool, and it was even cool when I saw it as a kid. And then, of course, we have the end scene where he... Now, here's the thing. We have the end where he has to stop Lex's plan with the missiles. Now, here, where the end, till the end, is completely... When you go back and watch it after thinking about it, it ruins. Okay, here. Essentially, we have Lex shooting 2 missiles to 2 ends of the world. Superman can... And he tells Superman, you can only stop one. So Superman stops one, but the other one detonates. Causes the flood... Causes the earthquake, and Lois gets buried underground, and then essentially she suffocates and dies. Now, that ending is dark, and it's interesting. And you know what? Now, here's the interesting thing. Originally, that was the ending. Originally, Donner's Superman, the movie, was supposed to end with Lois dying, and Superman reflecting on that he failed, that even with all of his power, he doesn't have the power to control everything. And that's interesting. That's a really cool, which means Donner had an interesting idea. That's really cool to have this guy is like the most powerful being in the universe, but he fails, and he realizes even with that power, I can't stop everything. That was cool. But essentially, what do we have? Now, here's the thing. The turn back time thing wasn't originally supposed to be in there, but the studio told Donner, you can't have that ending like that. We can't have Lois dying. We can't have the world. We can't have all this destruction and stuff. We want people to leave the theaters on a high note, being like, yeah, okay. So what do we have? We throw in the turn back time. Now, essentially, here's where it gets messy. When you throw in aspects like turning back time and fixing time, the threat disappears after watching the film. And also, look at it this way. When you watch that scene, he's spinning around so fast he rewinds time. If he can fly that fast, there is no reason why he couldn't grab both missiles. There is none. If he can fly supposedly fast enough to turn back time, there's no reason why he couldn't grab both of those missiles before they detonated. There you go. Plot messed up. That's a huge screw up right there. And anybody would think of that. There's no reason. And there's also no threat. And of course, so he saves Lois and everything, and then you have the high note, he flies off. Okay. I love the film, and even though that bothers me, I was okay. Now here's where it's going to get messy. Superman 2. Donner was thrown off of Superman 2 due to creative differences with the Soul Cats. So essentially we get Richard Lesnar, who took over. And he gave us the whole story with Zod and them coming to Earth, and the scenes with the missile. And now here's the thing. Now we all know how that film went, and we all know how it ended. The end of the film, Superman's rebuilding the planet and everything. Okay, there was destruction. He fought. And even in that film, he still didn't throw a punch. Come on. He was fighting Zod and 3 of his henchmen, and he didn't throw a punch. He picked up a flag, and honestly, throughout that fight, this is what happened. They pick up shit and they throw it at each other. That's what happened. There was no punching. There was no interaction. It was just pick up something. I'm gonna toss it at you. Oh, here's a pole. Eat that, Zod. You got 2 powerful beings and they don't use their fist. Doesn't make any sense, but whatever. But now here's a messy thing. If you own the Superman collection like I do, you own Richard Donner's Superman 2. Richard Donner's cut. Now, Richard Donner cut is essentially the exact same thing of Superman 2 with minor changes. But now here's the biggest minor, which when I think about this ending, this would have been disastrous had Donner actually done this. When I think about it, the ending of Superman 1 wasn't supposed to be the turn back time. The turn back time was supposed to be the ending of Superman 2. Look at it this way. And when you watch Superman 2, at the end of that movie, when he defeats Zod, everything's all messed up and he takes their powers. Essentially, he flies up in the air and rewinds every single thing that happened in the last 2 movies. Oh my God. When you think of that concept, that is beyond ludicrous. You essentially have just erased every single threat and everything that you were worried about in the last 2 movies in essentially 2 seconds. It rewinds Zod. Instead of getting the missile, the prison that he's in just floats past Earth. I look back at that and I'm like, when I watched that film for the first time, I was like, oh my god, if he had done this in the actual movie, this would have been ridiculous. In all honesty, let me tell you something. If he'd done this, Superman 2 might not have been regarded as that. In all, I think of that, and I'm almost happy Lesnar had Superman 2, because at least Richard Lesnar had it at the end when he defeated Zod. He was trying to help rebuild the Earth. He didn't turn back time to fix the damn everything that was destroyed. This has always been and that's the problem with time travel. When you throw aspects and give that power to any superhero, things are screwed up. Even the X-Men, when they have dealt with time travel, and they will deal with time travel in the Days of the Future Past movie, and I've read the comics with that. Even with that, it still wasn't used to the point where we're gonna save every single person that happened. No, they're changing an instance that has happened, but it doesn't mean everything's okay. It doesn't. And there's still a lot of other threats out there. Essentially, with this aspect, when we have the Superman movies, there is no threat. That basically means they could have made 7 Superman films, but guess what? There's really no threat because he has the power to turn back time. So, say they made a sequel. Say you put Brainiac in a sequel. Doesn't matter. The fight's over. Oh, he beats Brainiac. Everything's destroyed. Flies up. Turn back time. Brainiac never came to Earth. He's in prison. In some prison, Superman stops him before he ever comes to Earth. No. That's why Donner's films have flaws, and those are the biggest flaws of his film. Superman 3 and 4 have the flaws, so there's no use talking about those. Everybody knows how bad those films are. Superman 3 being the fact that Superman wasn't the star of the film. Richard Pryor was. As much as I love Richard Pryor, he's easily one of the funniest comedians of all time. But still, I mean, he shouldn't have been the star of a Superman movie. He shouldn't be starring over Superman in a film called Superman. That doesn't make any sense. And Superman 4, biggest mistake of all, never mix real life problems with superheroes, having them fix real life problems. That was the mistake right there, along with a lot of other stuff. Now we get to Superman Returns. 2006 hits, Warner Brothers releases Superman. I remember in 2006 when it was announced that Bryan Singer, the man who directed X-Men 2, which I loved, when I found out this guy was doing Superman, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And I find out he's a fan. He dressed like Superman. I'm like, he's going to give it justice. We're going to get a great Superman film. I already thought the film was great before I even saw the footage, just because I thought this guy directed X-Men. He loves Superman. He can do this job. He knows comic books. But essentially, I remember the first trailer hit. My hype was through the roof. I was like, oh, this is great. You get the voiceover from the old Superman. That's cool. Second trailer hit. I got that kind of iffiness because it was kind of goofy, and I was like, okay, but this is Bryan Singer. We're still going to get a good Superman movie. We got some good actors. I saw that international trailer, I remember, the one, and I was like, alright, okay, that pumped me back up, let's go. So the film comes out, I go into the theater to see it, we sit down, I remember, you get the voiceover, Krypton explodes, and I get that Superman intro, and I'm like, alright, yes, Superman's back. Bryan Singer, you're giving me what I want. The film, and as the film rolls along, and then we get an hour into the film, and I realize nothing has really happened much yet. And then we had the plane sequence. I'm like, okay, cool, Superman's back introduced. And there we have our first big problems. Now, at the time, I ignored this stuff because I wanted to believe that was a great film. Superman saves the plane, and then he stands there in the middle of the field like, yeah, that's right, because I'm Superman. Oh, no. You don't act like... You got Superman acting like a celebrity, like he's all the shit. No. Superman isn't supposed to be acting like that. He shouldn't just be standing in the field like, yes, bow to me. Keep bowing people. The arrogant. Seriously, Superman in that film was just so beyond arrogant. It wasn't even funny. Bryan Singer made him like beyond arrogant throughout that entire film. And as we continue, then we get to him visiting Lois, and then they fly, and I'm thinking, this is still good, but I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Is he really mirroring? I can understand homaging, but he's mirroring Donner's Superman, and it goes on like that through the entire movie. It really does. And when you think about it, look at it this way. I'm going to show you. I'm going to say something. Now here's Donner's film, and I'm going to point out some scenes. The first scene we see Superman in Donner's film, he saves Lois in the helicopter, and he's like, I'm Superman, and this and that. Bryan Singer's film, the first time we see Superman again, saving Lois in the plane. You can almost mirror that. It's different. It may be a helicopter, it may be one is a plane and one is a helicopter, but it's still the same thing, essentially. Flying through the air in Donner's. Even the end, which was Krypton, the island, which technically a natural disaster, him grabbing everything. That's basically what he did in Donner's. When I left that theater, I didn't want to believe that the film sucked, in all honesty. Until I actually got over it. Hell, I even told my friends Jason and other friends, I'm like, it was a great film. But you know what? I was lying to myself at the time because I didn't know what to think. And essentially, Singer could have made a great film, but instead he wasted it on almost giving an entire 2.5 hour homage to Richard Donner. That's what Superman Returns was. It was a 2.5 homage from Bryan Singer to Richard Donner, because he mirrored just about, he might as well just called it, they shouldn't even call it Superman Returns, he just should have called it Superman, because he was essentially just remaking Donner's film in like modern day. And it's sad because then the film underperformed, and that took care of Superman. Once again, Superman was wiped off the map, and it also destroyed the chances of the Justice League film due to the underperforming of Superman back then. Because there was a Justice League film plan, but once Warner say, a Superman tank, that underperformed badly. And well, it also didn't help that they spent $250 million on the film. Hell, go back and watch some of those deleted scenes that cost $10 million that they cut out of the film. $10 million deleted scene. Something was wrong during the entire filming of that scene when you got $10 million scenes being cut out of a film. They really overdid that budget. So, but essentially, even though Superman failed, we did get Batman, which was, I was happy. I did get a DC thing, but I always kept thinking that it was such a horrible miss that they screwed up on in terms of where they could have had such a great Superman film and they didn't. And now with this coming out, and people say like, oh, you get these people who just automatically like the new stuff. No, that's not it. It's not that I like the new stuff. It's that I really have not gotten a Superman film that I think is Superman. And the only thing, I mean, like I said, I still like the Donner films. And Christopher Reeves, I'm not going to ever put him down as Superman. I would never, because Christopher Reeves is Superman. That's a fact. Even though Carvel looks good, and even though Red and Ralph, that was the only thing that looked good, is that he looked Superman. But still, Christopher Reeves still is a Superman, and I will always give that to him, because you should never take that away from Christopher Reeves, ever. But I'm excited for this, because I really do feel I'm going to see the Superman film that I've been wanting to see for years. I'm going to see the one film, a Superman like the comics, and these trailers are proving that I'm seeing Superman. I want to see battles. I want to see Superman fighting the villains that I've seen in the comics. I'm waiting. I mean, I'm hoping this is gigantic at the box office, which I think it will be, and then we get a sequel. And I mean, for the most part, I've heard a lot of rumors of Brainiac. Oh my God, could you people imagine Brainiac for the sequel? Seriously, there's a villain that I am pretty sure a lot of you would love to see. But yeah. That's kind of my feelings, and I know a lot of people, you don't have to agree with it, and I don't agree with a lot of things other people say, but that's just really how I feel about the Superman character, and that I don't think it's been portrayed perfectly yet. And who knows, I'm not even saying that Man of Steel is portraying Superman perfectly. What I'm saying is Man of Steel is giving me more of a Superman essence that I have not gotten from past Superman films. So yeah, that's my opinion on this. So what do you guys, leave some comments below. What do you think? What are your feelings on it? Are you as passionate as I am about the character, and want to see the character done the way, or see stuff that you want to haven't seen in a Superman film, and that's what this one's giving you? So leave some comments below. Tell me what you think, and I'll have another talk review up like really soon.